the more repeatable those types of projects are, the more efficiency you're creating for yourself. As a project manager, I can now have a project template for how this whole thing's going to play out. And so when you've got more repeatable stuff, that's much easier to do, and it will take less time from a project manager. And then, the less repeatable things are, the more you're innovating each time.
Have you faced that in your business in the first 7-8 years? With Zen Pilot, have you faced it where you found yourself, you were focused on this, but then you look back like a day, a week, a month, a year later, and you're like, I'm down the rabbit hole. I'm doing all these other things away from the top priority. Have you battled that yet in your professional career?
Oh, constantly, for sure. Yeah. We run on EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and there are very mixed opinions on that. But I think EOS does do a good job of saying, here's what the scorecard is. Here's how we're going to look at data to run our business. Here's how frequently we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it as a leadership team or as an individual team on every single week. And then we're going to take a deeper dive into it every single quarter and get realigned. And you've got these rhythms of everyone's on the same page, singing in harmony on day one of the quarter. And then 90 days later, things are starting, there's loose ends starting to come out. And so that rhythm has been really helpful for us in building a discipline that we did not have in the first couple of years of what we were doing with Zen Pilot.
Yeah, I'd love to segue into project management because that's a special skill that you possess. And I wonder how, if you could just start and riff for us for a few minutes here on project management and what it takes to be like an exceptional project manager and leader in that space. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think the word that I said earlier, clarity, clarity truly is kindness. And it is the thing that all great project managers are excellent at creating for everyone. So from a executive stakeholder perspective, they're excellent at saying, hey, here's what we agreed upon at a high level. Here are the milestones. Here's the measurables of our success. And you've got real time or consistent basis updates on what that looks like. There's easy visibility and clarity into that. And then on the other side, so you think about the demand and supply, and the project managers sitting in the middle. You've got the stakeholders saying, here's what we want, whether that's a client or that's an internal team. And then you got that's the demand. And then you've got the supply side, which is, what's your team and the resources you're able to marshal to execute that project. And so they're excellent then at each of the demand resources or fulfillment resources, able to give them clarity on here's exactly what I need from you at a zoomed out level across the length of this project. Here's the high level of what I need you to do. And then at a very granular level, here's what I need you to get done today and move through the process. And the more repeatable those types of projects are, the more efficiency you're creating for yourself. As a project manager, I can now have a project template for how this whole thing's going to play out. And so when you've got more repeatable stuff, that's much easier to do. And it will take less time from a project manager. Yes. And then, the less repeatable things are, the more you're innovating each time, then the less efficiency you're going to find, which is fine as well.
Yeah. Is your project management, I'll call it your dashboard or the metrics that you look at for you? You say you use the EOS system to kind of keep the machine of the business going in a very organized, structured way. Do you use like a ClickUp dashboard or template to run your own practice? Watching? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And it gives you crystal clear clarity on everything, every metric. What are the most important metrics to you in leading other marketing agencies?
Yep. So if we zoomed out to like a leadership role scorecard, we're looking at client health. Okay. We're looking at team utilization. And what's the bandwidth to continue executing? And we're looking at referrals as one of our, so we got two different ways that we're measuring health. One is referrals, how many people are actually telling other people. Okay. And then what is the actual client health scores, which we could dig into deeper if it's helpful.
Yeah, love to. Love to dig deeper into that because this is I love going the rabbit hole on how you measure things since this is what you're best at. Love to hear what this looks like.
Cool. So and then from just a couple other metrics, then we'll go to client health. So in terms of our delivery team and our overall team, we're looking at what's our overall capacity. Yep. Say here's all the hours that we have, our target utilization. So what would that wind up looking like? And then we're looking at how much work is estimated out against our capacity. So of the total capacity that we have, how much is already pre-spoken for as we're looking forward. and then how much is remaining and available for us to fill. And then it's, hey, what do we do with the supply that we have here to best make that make sense? If we've got more time, that's going to get repurposed into internal R&D, or if there's client upsells or places to go above and beyond with clients, we'll go do that as well. And then obviously if we're on the other end of the spectrum, then we're looking at, well, what do we need to change from a staffing perspective, because we've got to bring on more help.
Yes.
And then on the client health side, we're looking at, so in any client reporting environment, there's four main areas that are, maybe these are, I don't know if these are quadrants, but four main categories that you'd report to a client on. The first one is, what did we do? The activity. Second one is, what were the results? So our performance. Third one is, what did we learn? And this is really the thinking part in the text of, hey, we tried this to accomplish this. The results were this. Therefore, we learned, this. And the last part is, what are we doing as a result of that? So when we are looking at client health, we're looking at externally what they're saying through NPS, Net Promoter Score. If it's helpful to spend any time on that, we can.
For those who don't know what that is, give us a 30-second overview of Net Promoter Score or minute overview.
Yeah, Net Promoter Score is just one. It's the most common metric that companies use. Like Apple uses this. A ton of companies use, and it's that annoying question that you've probably gotten asked and closed out of 100 times, which is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to refer
that
to this
one? Yes.
The way you calculate that score is your 9s and 10s are promoters. Anything that's a 6 or below is called a detractor. And then your passives are 7s and 8s. So you take the percentage of, let's say we have 100 people respond, 90 of them, which would be, or 80 of them, which would be excellent, say, yeah, we're a 9 or a 10. We would definitely refer you. We ignore the percentage of passives that we have. So let's say 10 give us a 7 or an 8, and then 10 give us a 6 or below. So those are our detractors. So 10% are detractors, 80% are promoters. And so our NPS score is 80 minus 10. So 70 is our NPS score.
What do you do with that now?
Yeah. So that's a kind of high level metric to be able to see, like, I really care about that in an aggregate. What's the trend over time?
Okay.
If you're an excellent services-based business, you're in the 60s, probably the low 60s, is like a very good services-based business. If you're a product business, it's generally lower than that. The more high touch, generally the higher NPS, should be as well. So the more luxury you are, more expensive you are, generally higher NPS as well. But I care about how that trends over time. So if I'm working with an agency, or if this was us and we're sitting at 30, then hey, like, unlikely to go to 60 tomorrow, but let's see what the trend over time is, and can we bring that up? What do we need to change? Is this everything starts, the sales is the sample of what we ultimately get. So is it wrong expectations set in the sales process, or is it poor execution against those expectations?
Yes.